today on Alumni Day is obviously a big disappointment with how we performed, and not necessarily how we performed. There is disappointment there. We ran into a very good basketball team, a very confident basketball team, a very well coached basketball team, a team that has NCAA experience, and they're very, very good. And the first 5 minutes of the game clearly indicated that. They were perfect, and we didn't play great. A lot of that was them, and a little bit of it was us. With that being said, after that first 5 minutes, that blitz of the first 5 minutes, we actually, if you take that away, we were only down one at the end of the game. And they're a championship ball club, and the way they play the first minute is the way they play the 38th and the 39th minute. So if there's any positives to take away from that, those first 5 or 6 minutes was the game. And again, a lot of it was them and a little bit of it was us. But all day long, we fumbled passes, we didn't rebound the ball necessarily well. It was not our best performance by any stretch, but we played hard, we played with effort, but we didn't play well.
Dan, anytime you face an opponent that's the reigning champion of the league, how much do you use this as an opportunity to see where this team stands and where you can adjust?
I really don't think about it a whole lot. I think we do that with every opponent to see what our talent level is, what our strength level is, what our conditioning level is, what our coaching level is, tonight in a lot of ways we got beat. But again, they played really hard for the entire game, and you take away those first 5 minutes, and it's a good game, but we still did not play well. We have to become. We have some things that we have to work on, and we knew that going into this season. And you can only address so much of those during the season. And our off season, when we get to the spring and the summer, we'll address issues that affected us tonight. As we move forward and we go into Wednesday and the remainder of the season, we have to be able to shoot the ball under some level of duress and understand that we're never going to get wide open shots, that we're going to have to take contested shots and make those contested shots. We've got to catch balls cleanly. I could talk about how we poorly passed the ball into the post. There's a lot of little things like that that you're reminded of without watching the film. UMass is a very good basketball team, and it's a great measuring stick to see where you're at, and we failed tonight.
You mentioned the blitz for the first 5 or 6 minutes, but what did you tell them, or did it even have to be said to just move on and play them tough, which the other 35 minutes you largely were able to do?
No, we tried to win. We were down 19 early at Dayton, where we came back and we had a 38-point swing. So the kids certainly believe that they can win every time they're on the floor, even if another team starts fast or we start slow. In the case today, it was really UMass starting incredibly fast with making all their shots. The Taylor girl, number one, she had 3 threes in the first minute and a half, I think, and 2 of them were guarded, and the other one was from about 28 feet away. Some of that is us. We needed to find them earlier in transition, but they played a flawless first 5 minutes, and it was the game. Did that answer your question? Okay.
Coming into this game, UMass was on a 5-game win streak, obviously just extended that to 6, but when you're facing one of the better teams in the conference, just what's sort of the mindset coming into it?
We worry about ourselves. We focus on ourselves. With that being said, obviously we have a deep scout of what they're going to do. And, not finding people early in transition. They're a very aggressive team, and I don't think we had very many times when we used a pass fake or a shot fake. We were aggressive going to the basket, and we had 4 charges called against us. So I look at that as a positive takeaway. But we have to understand when they hard hedge like they do, and we have a short roll and we feed that person, we have to be able to knock down 15-foot jump shots, 12-foot jump shots, and we didn't do that today.
You mentioned UMass got off to a fast start. I think they were 4 for 4 on their first 3-pointers.
7 for 7.
7 for 7
From the field. 7 for 7.
6 for 6 from the 3-point line, I believe.
Um,
It could have been 12 for 12, the way it felt.
Well, after the first 4, you had taken a timeout. Just what did you sort of tell the team in that timeout, and what were you trying to change?
We just tried to, settle them down and understand what are their core principles of how we were defending them in our scout. And, the thing that disappointed me without looking at the film is that we didn't identify shooters early. And I think our kids thought, we can identify them when they get to the arc, to the 3-point line. And these guys from UMass were making shots off the line, 2, 3, and in the case of number 1, Taylor, 5, 6 feet off the line. And credit goes to them. They're talented players, and they made shots. And so we called the timeout to get ourselves settled, and they just were really, really tough in that first quarter, and we couldn't buy a basket. We had multiple times, where we just we'd have a point blank layup. We missed 12 layups that I know of. 12 layups. They didn't. And that right there is the mark of a championship team. How many shots did we miss inside that half semicircle in the lane? And how many did they make? And that's the game. And that's the mark of a championship team. And probably the biggest struggle I've had this year is that we have not done that on a consistent or a high enough level basis of making short shots inside. And that's not just our post players. That's also our guards on drives. And if we can get that figured out, I feel really good about where we're going. But that's been our biggest omen, our biggest problem this year. And we've defended. You can look at our numbers. We're one of the top teams in the nation in terms of defensive field goal percentage. We make a ton of threes on offense, but we just can't. We don't make layups and short shots in the lane at a high enough percentage for us to win a championship. And we've got to work at that every day.
Megan highlighted UMass's offensive rebounding. The Dukes defensively oftentimes got a stop or two, but UMass would just get an offensive rebound and then end up scoring. She also said they would play defense well for about 20 seconds and then sort of fall apart a little bit. Would you agree with that?
I don't know if we played defense well for 20 seconds. They were seamless. They looked like a machine today. The way that they know one another as a team, they've got 4 guys that all average about 35 minutes, and then that 5th starter kind of spreads the minutes out with like 1 or 2 other players. They don't play a lot. Those guys know each other from UMass. They know each other so well. They know where the next pass is going, and that's just not one player on their team. They have multiple players on that team that know that as soon as I catch it, boom, that person's going to be open because the help is coming. And that's really, really tough to defend. And we were slow to balls. We didn't box out as well as we could have. And, I think before the game we were like 11th in the country in defensive field goal percentage, which is a great stat to be one of the best teams in the country. But the problem with that is that means there's a lot of rebounds. And we're one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country, but we have so many people miss shots against us that they're going to get offensive rebounds. And tonight, those offensive rebounds were back-breaking, absolutely back-breaking offensive rebounds to us. And they played a complete game, both on the perimeter and in the post. We got beat today.
Just what do you have to say about Amaya Hamilton's performance today? Offensively, she seemed like a real bright spot.
Well, the stats may say that, but she was zero assists and 6 turnovers. And, I think that I could have given her more direction, and I could have given her more coaching to get downhill, to be better. There's some positives there. She did some good things. But right now, in the emotional state, and just finishing the game and not happy with the performance. It's hard to find positives because of the way you feel. I'm sure we'll find positives, and I know we will, because Amaya Hamilton's a good basketball player. We'll find those after we watch the film.
And then just on a lighter note, looking back to the Dayton game, you had 6 double-digit scorers. You already touched on it a little bit, but you came back from a 19-point deficit. Just what went right in that game, and then also what do you have to say about Tess Myers' ability to sort of change the outcome of games?
With 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, I looked up at the scoreboard, and we were on the offensive end at the other end of the floor, and we were down, I believe, 16 or 18, and I said, we just have to have enough time, but I believe in our guys, and I believe that we could come back. When you're playing a team, I think Dayton's a talented team. I think they're an athletic team. They have great size, but they've only won 3 games. So if we can cut this lead, they played really well, and we came out flat. Our shoot-around had not been good. If we can cut into this lead each quarter and get it down below double digits by the time we get to halftime, which I think it was a 2-point game at halftime, we're going to be okay, because we have a fight and we have a spirit and connectedness that we'll find a way to win this game. By no means did I think it was going to be a 38-point swing. I've never been a part of a game like that in any sort of way, at any level. I think it says a lot to the testament of the toughness of our kids, and that reflected today also. When you're getting your head beat in and the other team's making every single shot in those first 5 minutes, you could have a tendency to lay down and just quit, and our players did not do that. We didn't have answers, and we didn't necessarily play well, but we played hard, and we played with some toughness. We have to fix some things. We are a work in progress. We are not the defending champions. We are not an NCAA tournament team. We're a team that is learning how to win and getting better. We won 11 games last year, and half these guys didn't play. And so we are a better basketball team, and we strive to be a better basketball team in a week, and then another week. And if we can do little incremental changes, 1% each game, by the time we get to March in the conference tournament, like many of the coaches in the leagues have said, they don't want to have anything to do with us, because we have good balance and we have a good basketball team.
Dan, I have to ask about the weekend as a whole, 50 years, what that signifies, just the family that was all together celebrating such a monumental milestone last night and this afternoon, and your overall thoughts.
So for the people who don't know, we had our alumni gathering last night, and alumni gatherings, sometimes you may not get a lot of people back. We had 160. Not all players, but a lot of friends of the program, fans who have deep engagement, and a lot of players. The most players we had come back were from those first teams of the 70s, which was incredible. Some of them had not been on campus in decades. But we had alumni from every generation and every decade. And it was good to meet some of the people that I've not met. It was good to have good fellowship and build bonds with some of the people that haven't been back. It was a good night, and we had this video that was put together by one of our people here in the marketing department, Maggie, and Maggie did an incredible job with this video, and I had many people talk to me about it and how good it was. I think everything was run in a first-class manner, and that really goes to what Melissa Franco did behind the scenes. And I know that our players, current, our administration, up to President Gormley, and all of our alumni enjoyed the evening. That's the first 50 years. And now this group that we have here that didn't play their best today is the next 50 years. And I hope to be here for 15 or 20 of that, hopefully, maybe longer, but I hope to be here for a long part of that. A program that started 50 years ago that, frankly, the women, the alumni of that time, talked about the lack of support that they have, and where we are now is incredible, and that's certainly true. There's an upward curve, and there's a lot of growth that we've had, And we're hoping that upward growth and curve continues to happen, and I believe that it will, and we will continue to have success. Let's all remember, we're a pretty good basketball team. We're 14-8. We're a possession or two away from winning another game or two. And we're doing it with guys who are learning how to win and play together. They're always playing with connectedness, toughness, and grit, and they all come back next year too. And so we continue to get better, and we continue to strive to represent the university well, and we certainly did that last night at the 50th year.
That's all.
Thank you for supporting women's basketball.